y'all, this is Luis from Heavyocity. Today I want to talk to you about how arpeggiators can be a powerful tool for very effective, very cool storytelling. I'm going to score a short piece of footage that's basically a guy in a forest, creepy stuff starts to happen, and by using arpeggiators from our brand new product Mosaic plugs as well as some reversers and eerie bells, I'm going to craft an eerie atmosphere, I'm going to create rhythmic cinematic tension, and I'm going to be able to tell basically like the story of the imminent danger that our main protagonist is going to find himself in. Let's see how it turns out. So let's start with the cue itself. It's set in a forest. There's a man walking and then a shadow appears and things start getting creepy and start getting scary really fast. Let's see how the music is able to tell that story. Alright, very simple cue, very short, but I think there's a lot of rich storytelling happening. The first thing that I worked with is like finding a motif that could set the atmosphere of this haunted forest to set up the stage for something scary to occur. For that, I found that this preset ARP Microlights was really good. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of how it works. Basically, you can hear it's like a chimey, bell-like kind of sound, and it has a very simple 8th note based arpeggio. Very simple, but the cool thing about it is that even though it's just C, C, E flat, C, C, D, the rich harmonic content of the source material, it automatically grabs this very tonal progression and creates an eerie vibe to it. Then the next thing that I wanted to make sure is that I could use a musical element to delineate what's happening with our main character, and for that I found shifting time, and you'll hear why. Yep, it sounds like a heartbeat, which might be cliche, but there's also something cool happening with this rhythmic preset. It's in triplets. What's cool about that, it's using the gate, it's also using an arpeggio. It will allow us to create more rhythmic complexity. It'll be playing with the 16th notes, the 8th notes, and the triplet notes become like our main character who's sort of out of place and also in danger. So we see him walk, and basically the pace that he's walking towards danger is the pace of his heart. Next thing that I wanted to use, I wanted to take advantage of the power of the reverses in Mosaic plug. These are really good, like to lead into moments, to create this like lifts and sort of like expectation. So there's the reverse vocal nail, which is pretty cool. And then I bring this next one, Deepest Return Magic, at this point, which is right before we go into this next section of the cue, which features what I think is the main arpeggio that I want to talk about, which is Tangerine Nightmare. As you can see, you're listening to different things now. Everything's coming from the same preset, which is pretty cool. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. The main thing that I did is having this arpeggio that's in 16th notes. So by definition, it's just going to be faster. It's just going to like showcase this subdued anxiety, this imminent danger as we progress towards the shadow and as the shadow progresses towards the main character. But the other cool thing is like by automating the daft filter, I'm able to like muffle the sound so it becomes something more of the background, open it as the danger becomes more imminent. And by tweaking the resonance, I'm able to create these very cool dives. And then the next one becomes a little brighter, a little nastier. You might be thinking, Luis, but I heard another one. Why are we listening to just one preset? Well, because what I did, I grabbed the output of this preset, and let me just show you what I did. And then I printed it out, copied the end of it, reversed it and put it at the, here at the early onset. And if I just play that, I detune it a little bit. And this is going through more effects, like more reverb and more delay. And the effect is kind of like foreshadowing that this big dive is coming. Boom. And that main one is the one that occurs synced up to the moment the shadow is approaching the main character slowly. So it also has this effect of slowing down time, because not only it becomes this aggressive, distorted dive, it also overwhelms the output, so it basically destroys the arpeggio. And it goes back. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the last thing that I had is another arpeggio that I like very much, which is From the Mountain. Far Into the Mountain. Let's get rid of the dives. I know we like a dive. What I like about this is basically it has a different pattern, a repeated pattern. So when you play that note, it just plays it 4 times before moving into the next note in the chord. And what I'm doing here is I'm performing the same notes from the pattern from the original microlights. So when you play them together, they are playing different rhythms, slightly different rhythms, but they're also doing a slightly different chord progression. But they're doing it at different paces, which adds to the complexity of the rhythm, which, without getting too much in the way, adds to the intensity and to the scariness of the moment. So let's put all of these instances together, all of these instruments, so you can see how the arpeggios, the reverses, and the swells are telling the whole story of the cue. After, I also added orchestral strings and some gravity sweeteners to add some more depth and polish to the mix. But if you listen to just these instruments, you can see the rhythmic tension is there, the suspense, the thriller, the eerie vibe, everything's coming from arpeggios, reverses, and from Mosaic plug overall. You got microlights setting up the mood. You got the swells and the heartbeats setting up the feeling. Stuff is gonna happen. Everything kicks in. You got the anxiety building up. First dive, we close up, time slows down. Then everything becomes more complex, more open. Slow down. Halt to stop. And nothing good can happen after this scene, right? So there you have it. As you can see, arpeggiators are a really powerful tool to create a cinematic score. With them, you can find motifs by having the arpeggiator outline a chord in a way you would not expect. You can also juxtapose very different rhythms very easily, like 16ths against triplet notes, to create tension, to create rhythmic drive. Also with Mosaic plugs, using the reverses, the swells, and all the different sources and the different timbres and colors, you can create atmosphere, and you can create a very interesting contrast between punctuated, arpeggiated, rhythmic synthesizers versus organic, eerie, atmospheric vibes. So I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you around.